Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you'll be listening to a hypnosis session created for a client that had difficulty burping, particularly in social situations around other people, but occasionally even in their own presence. And what was evident with this particular client is that there was almost like a loop that self-perpetuated, that they would be anxious at the idea that they wouldn't be able to burp. And that anxiety, that anticipation, then caused an increase in tension, particularly in the very muscles connected with burping. And then if they did need to burp, they wouldn't be able to burp. And then that would give them more anxiety at the idea of not just experiencing the physical discomfort, but the idea that that then gives them a conviction, yet more evidence that they're not able to burp, which then increases the negative anticipation of future events where they might need to do a natural thing. And if you've never experienced this kind of thing, it might seem frivolous, but I would encourage you to look at it through the lens of a biological thing that you take for granted. And that might be sneezing or blinking or going to the toilet. And if suddenly you couldn't do that thing that you normally take for granted, that would be quite a distressing sensation. So although it's very easy for people to kind of mock, let's say, the sounds and noises that humans make, let's be honest, it's a very natural thing and is a biological function sometimes that certain foods or drinks that you have create trapped air, and if you remember, if you are a parent, the discomfort of babies when they have trapped wind, it's not good for humans to have wind trapped inside them. Now, with babies, they tend to, be burped, and then the trapped air gets released, and they can go from discomfort to comfort very quickly. But if that's happening in an adult, where unconscious muscle tension suppresses a very natural response, that can be a very uncomfortable place that becomes all the more distressing because they don't know how to change it. What you're going to hear in this particular hypnosis session is a form of regression to a time that they absolutely did know that they could burp without really thinking about it too much. Lots of suggestions linked to progressive relaxation, particularly of the muscles connected with burping, and then future pacing, so they could actually see that resourceful version of themselves in environments where they weren't stressing and worrying about it. And it is a natural thing, and therefore the key goal here isn't to make them motivated to burp, but to actually do the opposite, to make them feel that there is nothing they need to do, because left to its own devices, the body already knows what to do. While this is obviously connected to burping and kind of trapped air, it, I think, will also be helpful for other biological anxieties, things like erectile dysfunction, pee shy, a scare, a fear of, let's say swallowing or eating food in front of other people. I think it's broader than maybe just the very specific nature of burping. So if you do have any of those, let's say, broader issues, think of them when you listen to this hypnosis session so it becomes more useful and relevant for you. At its core, this is a session about trusting your body and returning back to normal. If you feel like you would benefit from a more customized session with me, feel free to click a link in the show notes or go to my website, adamcox.co.uk, and you can book a free session there. For now, though, find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe in a resourceful feeling of calm relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow any feelings of tension, any stress, to incrementally, slowly feel that tension is dissolving and leaving your body every time you breathe out. Notice the slower you breathe, the more relaxed you feel. The deeper you breathe in, the more you're able to breathe out for longer. I want you to get a sense. Most tension is a reaction. But I want you to get a sense it's a reaction to something in the past. So as you breathe in and breathe out, I want you to consciously make the evaluation that if tension is a reflection or an echo of the past, then it's no longer needed here in the present. I want you to use the power of your imagination to imagine all tension in your body, perhaps the jaw, the neck, the chest, and even those tiny muscles inside your body are infused with crystals of ice. As you breathe in, just imagine you're breathing in a warm color, like a glowing orange. So as you breathe in that glowing orange, imagine how it would feel if it was slowly melting away tension, just like snowflakes under the heat of the sun. I want you to scan your body for where you become aware of tension. Become a treasure hunter of tension. Imagine scanning your body for clues. If your lips or teeth are touching, it probably means there's elements of tension in your jaw. If when you breathe in and breathe out, you can hear any noise at all, there's probably tension around your windpipe, in your chest, or maybe in your diaphragm. And as you discover the clues of tension, feel that when you breathe in that glowing, warm feeling of resourceful relaxation, it's seeking out that specific muscle or area to melt away that tension. Feel the warmth of that glowing orange energy there in your lungs. As you imagine, in the same way that your heart can distribute oxygen to every cell in your body, imagine this glowing orange resourceful relaxation. As you breathe it in into your lungs, your heart is distributing all of that resourceful relaxation, deploying it to whichever muscles need it most at the cellular level. That tension melting away as you can feel lighter. You can feel more relaxed. Feel a wave of relaxation. That's it. Deeper and deeper relaxed. Noticing you can breathe in and breathe out deeper. Release the tension there in your eyelids, forehead. As you breathe in, even release the tension around your nostrils, mouth, jaw, neck and shoulders. Incrementally release that tension. And maybe notice that as you start to relax, you become more aware of those tiny, swallow-like motions. Maybe you can notice the sensation of air going in through your nose, down your windpipe into your lungs. And just feel all of the muscles connected to how you breathe are relaxing. Allow your mouth to relax, your nose to relax. Allow the tiny muscles around your throat to relax. Even your tongue, just relax all the muscles in and around the tongue. That's it, just become increasingly aware of your neck. And I want you to imagine how you would feel if you were out in the countryside under the warmth of the sun, perhaps on a hiking route. I want you to imagine going there at your current age. But then far ahead, you can see you from maybe 10 years ago. And I want you to compare the difference. If you seem like you're more tense than they are, then just release that tension to be more like the version of you 10 years ago, enjoying a nice hike in fresh air. Just release all of that tension. If they're smiling, then you can smile. If they're breathing deeply, then mimic that and breathe deeply too. And I want you to imagine you're invisible and you're just following this version of you from 10 years ago, hiking. You can still feel the warmth of the sun on your skin, the freshness of the air, feeling a wonderful feeling of ever-increasing relaxation. And I want you to observe a funny moment where you let out a ridiculously big burp. You can find it humorous, even just seeing that younger version of you, perhaps caught off guard, perhaps surprised at the loudness of the burp. Maybe see the reaction of someone you were with at the time. And maybe laugh as the evaluation they made is that thinking the burp came from an animal. I want you to make the evaluation that that version of you back then was free to burp without any connotations, any thoughts, any evaluations. It was seen as a natural biological response, no different from scratching an itch, from blinking, breathing, or sweating. And if you can make that evaluation that that version of you back then was free to burp whenever they felt like, free of judgment, free of tension, free of any thoughts or emotions, that a burp back then was no different from a sneeze or the blinking of an eye. And if you can make that evaluation now, knowing what you now know, that that version of you back then felt that way, let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to imagine watching the same moment where you burp, maybe 3, 4, 5 times in a row. Notice the relaxed muscles around the neck, the facial expressions, maybe their posture. Get a sense if they were breathing from the chest or the diaphragm, maybe a combination of the two. Observe there is a lack of thinking around what's about to happen, what happened, and even after it happened, it's just a funny moment. And when you're convinced that that version of you was free to burp, not because you wanted to, but perhaps because your body needed to, let me know by nodding your head. And then imagine stepping into that version of you and just feeling how it would feel to burp. Notice there's no noticing that it might happen. There's just an evaluation that there is air trapped somewhere, and the body knows how to release it in the safest, most effortless way possible. I want you to imagine whatever the equivalent of a valve is, a release valve back then. Imagine it highly functional, perhaps lubricated, like a hydraulic machinery working in optimal form, that if pressure needs to be released, the release valve will release it. But also knowing back then you had the ability to be discreet if circumstances around caused for it. And just imagine burping, but feeling a sense of optimal control. The goal is not to suppress the burp, but to allow the body to do what the body needs to do. It would be futile to try and stop your body sweating if you were hot. It would take so much energy to stop yourself blinking, even for a minute. You can hold your breath for no more than a minute or two. I want you to accept that it doesn't make sense to fight your body, but to embrace your body. That your body is designed to do what it needs to do when it needs to do it. To feel the sensation that a burp is coming, and feel that there is nothing for you to do. That this internal release valve will do all of the work for you. That you can almost be a spectator. That if your body needs to burp, that you will trust your body to burp. And if you can feel how good it feels to allow your body to do the heavy lifting, to do the work, to allow you to burp if you need to burp, let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to imagine feeling this way, but seeing someone that looks exactly like you in the future with this ability to work with your body, to do whatever is necessary. And I want you to imagine seeing yourself at a point in the future where it would be helpful to have no restrictions, limitations, nothing that would impede your ability to burp. I want you to imagine what it would be like to see someone like you, but feeling how you felt back then, but this time in your future rather than your past. And as you see them, feel that you have the ability to either observe them or be them, depending on whatever feels more empowering for you in the moment. And if you can see that future version of you with the ability to Burp whenever is necessary. Let me know by nodding your head. That's it. I want you to get a sense that this version of you knows how to burp, is comfortable burping, as you allow yourself to recognize that burping is just a natural, normal bodily function, and take any judgment or ideas of discomfort away. Your body knows how to do it. You trust that your heart will beat when it needs to beat, and you trust that your lungs will breathe more rapidly if you need more oxygen and less if you need less. That if you had something, a bit of dust in your eye, your eyelids would blink more. I want you to get a sense that this is just one additional thing to trust your body. And there is now nothing you need to do. All the energy you've been investing, feel that you can take that energy back. At one point in time, you made a false evaluation that there was something you needed to do, to think about, and allow that thought, that belief, to melt away. That false belief has been a cause of discomfort for many years now. And as that belief melts away, you reactivate how you used to believe 10 years or so before. No opinions, no thoughts, no actions, simply trust. And as you reactivate that trust, you can imagine the muscles involved in burping relaxing deeply, releasing tension and operating smoothly, just as nature intended. And if there is any muscles tense around the muscles that would be needed to suppress a burp, just imagine that tension melting away like ice under the warm sun, leaving you feeling free and at ease. Give yourself permission to not need to think about burping anymore, trusting your body to manage this natural process effortlessly. As you embrace the part of you that understands burping is just another way that your body communicates and takes care of itself. Maybe the sound of a burp is just a message that the body's release valve has been effective, that the trapped wind, gas, or air is successfully released. A burp is a sound that your body is working optimally. And I wonder what would happen if the same relief you felt after a burp was felt before it. Perhaps all of that relief can be experienced in advance, facilitating the very thing that your body needs most. And what if you could feel the relief of knowing that your body knows how to do whatever it needs? And that's the source of relief. And in feeling that relief, you create a powerful, self-fulfilling prophecy that enables your body to act in accordance with nature. And you can let laughter and lightheartedness surround any moments of burping. seeing them as opportunities for humor, self-compassion, or just a reminder that we're all human. Feel a wonderful wave of relaxation sweep over you, reassuring you that it's okay to burp and release any built-up air comfortably. Feel that comfort. Feel that relaxation. Breathe in deeper, breathe out deeper. Air is going in and out of your body all the time, every time you breathe. And burping is just a different way that air leaves your body. Believe it's as natural as an outward breath. You could acknowledge that you have the power to be discreet if you choose, controlling the release of air in a way that feels right to you. But you can only do that when you feel it's a natural, relaxing process. So encourage a sense of empowerment deep within you, knowing that you can feel relaxed and at ease in any environment, formal or informal, with people or alone, regardless of natural bodily functions. Any old beliefs about burping are now outdated scripts that no longer serve you. Allow them to dissolve peacefully. Imagine that these old judgments, evaluations, are like old newspapers burning on a fireplace. Affirm to yourself that your comfort and well-being are paramount. Natural processes, like burping, are just part of this harmony. Start seeing yourself in all different various settings and see yourself as that same version of you that could burp comfortably and relaxed in the past. See the future version of you feeling calm and untroubled, even if the need to burp arises. Seeing that version of you handle it gracefully, relaxed, and discreet when appropriate. Remind yourself that everyone experiences these natural processes. Give yourself permission to play by the same rules as everybody else. Invite all the muscles associated with breathing, burping, and digesting to unwind and relax, promoting a smooth and easy release whenever necessary. Imagine how much tension would be built up in your body if you had to control every breath. What an exhausting place it would be to live. But you don't think of every breath. You just allow your body to breathe as it needs to. And just extend that same principle to burping. That there isn't anything you need to do. That trust and acceptance are how you align and have that harmony, working with your body, not against your body. Reinforce the idea that burping is not something to be managed or controlled, but rather acknowledged and accepted as a natural part of life. While you can celebrate the release that burping brings, seeing it as a sign of your body's effective functioning and self-regulation, give yourself permission to feel that release even before the burp. Sometimes you'll give yourself a treat, a reward before you do the work, trusting that you will do it. So give yourself the reward of release and relaxation before the burp, dramatically increasing your ability to burp naturally if and when you need to. There is nothing you need to do. You can trust your body's wisdom. Your body knows how to do this. So imagine, perhaps for a while there was a old clogged up hydraulic release mechanism that wasn't working functionally, and allow it to feel that it is brand new, to feel that that release valve is now back to the best it's ever been. Whatever mechanisms are needed to release whatever needs to be released are now optimized. You don't need to burp more than you need to, or less. Just give permission for this release valve to work when it needs to work. As you embrace a new narrative, where burping is again seen as a non-issue, freeing you from any past misconceptions or societal expectations, freeing yourself of the need to do anything, allowing your body to go back to a normal, harmonious relationship. Feel that you're back there on that hiking route, back in your body, but now feeling just as that younger version of you was feeling. Perhaps feeling a need to burp and just allowing your body to do whatever it's necessary to do. That your game plan is trust and acceptance, not control or suppression. Release the need to do anything and allow your body to return to normal. Breathing in and breathing out. It's time to return to the present, taking these new ideas, beliefs, strategies with you. And the only thing you need to leave is the idea that there's something you need to do. Leave that there on the side of that hiking route. And what you take back to the present, trust, harmony, and acceptance. As you take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose, and wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes, connecting fully with the present moment, as very soon I count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.